for Live here at the Salute Your Shorts Film Festival. I'm Kelly Vroman. I'm a two-time Salute Your Shorts Film Festival alum, and I'm just so blown away by this film, by what it has to say, by the beauty of of Liv's life, and the gosh, yeah, knowing her through this film is life-changing in and of itself. So just want to recognize that what we're going to talk about obviously is an extension of the film, and so thank you for being here, for the work you've already done, and for your vulnerability in telling this story. So as we go, I'd first like to have all of you to introduce yourself and how you're involved in the film. Honey, we'll start with you.
Hey. Hi, my name is Honey Buff, and I am Tess and Liv's mom.
And I am Tess. I'm Liv's sister.
I'm Alan Hicks, and I'm the director of the film.
I'm Paula Dupree-Pessman. I'm the producer of the film.
Hi, I'm Susan Casso. I'm a counselor here in Boulder, Colorado, and helped consult on the film.
So first question, I guess, how did you all come to be working together on this? And anybody who you know, maybe to give like a...
This is a polite crowd, so you might want to...
Okay, no, that's good to know. Okay, good to know. Paula, how did you all come to be working together on this?
I worked with Al for more than 10 years. He's directed the last 3 films that I've worked on. And we were still finishing Quincy. We were doing a movie for Netflix called Quincy, about Quincy Jones. And I knew Liv since she was about 3. And I knew Liv and Tess. Their grandmother was the first volunteer at my charity. So when Liv died, and we talked, the family and I talked afterwards, if they ever wanted to do something around bringing awareness to this issue, that I would help them. And they wanted to do something right away. And they don't want another family to go through what they were going through. So I reached out to Al, and we were still on Quincy, and sent him some footage, and we just right away collected as much as we could, phone, computers, and information, you know, letters and journals and things from the family. And then Al pretty much we just brought back the team from Quincy, the editing team, the post team, and we just kept going. So Al, do you want to take it from
there? So when Paula first, like she mentioned, we were just finishing the Quincy ride, pretty much, of making a big feature-length documentary, and you're usually pretty wiped out by that point. And I think even just a week or so before, we were both like, oh, no, we're not going to do anything for a long time. And then Paula said, you know, this sweet family that I know, and she told me the whole story, and she sent me just some footage and said, what do you think? What do you think about this footage? She didn't even ask if I wanted to be involved in a film or anything. She just said, there's this beautiful girl, she's hilarious, she's really talented. And I looked at a bunch of the footage and I couldn't believe it. I thought that's really, you know, so engaging, and she's so sweet. And then Paula said, do you want to make a little short film? The family really wants to do something to bring awareness. And I said, yeah, let's do it. So we just started up the engines again, and off we went.
So a question then for Honey and Tess is, what is it like to, I mean, because this isn't that far after. I mean, you haven't had much time yourself to, I don't know, to live the new life. What was it like to have this become subject matter? What was it like to have this person that you love so much have a film made about them? What did you want to include, not include? What was it like for you? Tess, let's start with you.
Sure. For me, it really gave me purpose. Like Paula said, we just didn't want anyone else to have to go through this, and we didn't want any other young people to feel that suicide was an option for them. And in making the film, particularly the video diaries, for me, it's been really interesting in my grief journey. People are very uncomfortable talking with me about Liv's passing and the fact that she died by suicide. And so I had already started creating video diaries. I just needed to express myself and get it out there. And I didn't really feel like I could talk to a specific person. And so I was just making these for myself. And at one point, you know, the team had said, what are your thoughts on doing some video diaries? And I said, here you go, I have some. Like, I've just been doing it. It was just part of my grief process. So for me, it was, and continues to be, therapeutic.
Yeah, and for me, it's definitely been purposeful. It's been really helpful going through my grieving process. There are certainly times when it's really tough, going through videos and reading her poetry, and listening to all her takes on her songs that were, you know, just brought tears to my eyes. But then there were also times when there would be an absolutely hysterical video of her, and I would just be reminded of what an amazing spirit she was. And those moments also helped propel me into feeling that this was necessary, that Liv, I know in my heart, would want us to have made this film to bring it to people to try to curb the tide of suicide, of youth suicide. So it's been an incredible journey, and the everyone on the team has just been so loving and careful, and purposeful in making sure that we do no harm, that they made the process really healing for us.
Do you, Tess, you said something that really stood out for me, and Honey, you said that the team was, oh gosh, what was the word you just used? Not sensitive, but
there was just it was incredible compassion,
okay,
and love.
Yeah. So when you have a tragedy like this happen in your life, it can be so alienating. Tess, like you said, people don't know how to talk to you. It's kind of like you become this, ooh, people don't want to offend, and then they don't know what to say, so they don't say anything. And it feels like you decided to say it all. And I feel like that you're giving so many people the permission to talk to you, to talk to others, to talk to their kids, and to not stay silent about it. Susan, when were you brought into the process, and what did that look like for you?
Well, Paula brought me in. I mean, I don't know where you guys were on the cuts or whatnot of if it was the first cut of the film or not, but I remember sitting in Paula's basement and just the two of us and her sharing the film with me. And of course, you know, I was very emotional in watching it, and, you know, and I'm getting emotional even talking about it right now, just that memory of that experience of seeing it for the first time. And just knowing that they really had something amazing and special, and knowing really what a difference that this film could make for a lot of young people, you know, teenagers, but also families, of really being able to see this film. And, you know, Honey and Tess are so courageous in sharing this, that my hope was that people can be courageous in starting the conversation with their own families.
Yeah, I think when we started, before we had the cut, we actually had a first meeting with Susan, and then I met with the team at Children's Hospital at the Mental Health Institute, and just asked people, and some agencies that Susan brought together, and said, what are the things that we need to be careful with? And what do we need to do that make sure that we don't do that would glorify this issue in any way? And so that was really important to us, that we tell it in a safe way and in a helpful way. But we just, as we started out with the motto, like, do no harm. That's always been our intention. because it is so scary. You don't want to say the wrong thing. And this is such a delicate issue for people. And really, most of us, and me as a parent, feel, you start off thinking, well, I don't want to say something that might give someone an idea. If you ask somebody if they're suicidal, my thought was I would give my kids the idea if I mentioned it or asked. And what I learned from Susan right away is that's not the case at all. And you're not going to give someone the idea if they already have it. They actually feel relief sometimes when you ask them. And how do we know how to help somebody if we're afraid to ask? So Susan was really instrumental in making sure that we knew where to go with it and what not to do. And then the content really guided the rest of the direction. Now, wouldn't you agree, in the editing, when you started digging into it?
Yeah, the story it led its own path, but it was having the counsel behind us the whole time, to not even go down the wrong track. We know, okay, as soon as something felt a little sensitive, we'd be able to bring it to the therapist and, be able to get it vetted. And that's actually quite helpful to have early on when you are just starting to edit, because if you get too far down the track, you'll get all married to an idea and it might be the wrong thing. So that was really, really helpful right from the outset.
How is that different than working on a documentary that is not about necessarily sensitive material?
Well, they're all sensitive in their own way. The first film was dealing with elderly, with diabetes, the African American culture. There's a lot of responsibility in every film, and Quincy had also had its whole very heavily. He was a big part of the. It's past almost 100 years in America. So that they all had their own responsibilities. But this one in particular, we knew right from the very beginning that if we're going to make this, we're going to make this right. We want to make this as safe as possible, but as real as possible, so that people can have access, emotional access to the story. But
they also gave us, Al, when you say they gave us permission to be a little bit more fearless too. Like a lot of them said, like Susan said, we haven't seen a film like this where we see this really raw emotion, and we knew from them that would be a good thing to show. We were like, are we okay here? This feels like the right direction, and it was good to hear that was something that was new and could be helpful. That people are not better off without somebody when they die by suicide, and showing that has been helpful.
Tess, the quote that you have at the end of the film about, can you repeat it word for word for us? Right.
Sure. When Liv died, her pain didn't end. It was just transferred to everyone who loved her.
That's I don't know, that's not the right adjective. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for stating that in such a clear way for all of us. How has your relationship with social media changed?
Oh, that's such an interesting question. My relationship has actually changed a lot with social media. I found myself going down some of the same rabbit holes that Liv was going down. And I think part of that was that lack of connection, right? I was feeling like my emotions and my experience was too big and too scary for everyone. And so it was really easy for me to go to my phone and scroll through my feed. And like about a month after she passed, I really started unfollowing people or accounts that really triggered something in me. And that's been really helpful. And it is something that I still am trying to do, is really curate my own personal social media to just be things that fill me, as opposed to things that make me compare myself to others. So that's a very interesting question, because it is something I have been actively trying to work on.
Yeah, that's so hard. Just thinking of teens and so much, and now that we're in this lockdown, we're in this pandemic, like their social interaction is online. This is just such an important film for always, and it's just so much right now as well. For the filmmakers, and also Tess, and Honey, anybody, kind of for the filmmakers, what are you working on next? What's next for you guys? That film festival question people ask.
I'm working on a few scripts at the moment, and I've actually, I'm in Australia, so I've been with the whole pandemic and everything. So, nothing in the doc realm right this second, but a few little things in a couple of scripts.
Did you do this whole thing in Australia? Was this across the world filmmaking together?
No, I was in LA, and in LA for this. Yeah. Paul was in Boulder.
Yeah, I'm in Boulder, and I'm working with the team. We started the Live Project in January, and so we've officially launched that. Since then, it's moving quickly. It's the whole mission is to turn the tide of youth suicide. So we've created a game called The Game That Goes There, and it's a game to get people to start talking and connecting, and it's fun, and it's really doing its job. It's pretty powerful. So we're doing that. We're also looking at other tools that we can create that help promote fearless conversation. So we're just beginning, really. The film is just the beginning of this whole issue for us.
Can you tell us how people can find that game and find out more?
Yeah, they can go to the Live Project. It's LIV, theliveproject.com. And the game is there. How to do a private screening is there. Some tools for how to talk and how to activate conversation with your people in your lives. And people can join up and stay informed, because it's been 6 months and we're moving quickly, and we're going to continue to work with creative people to come up with new ways to get conversation going and not be afraid. Keep going. We need to talk. It feels good to talk to your kids. It feels good to talk to each other.
I'm a new mom, and I'm thankful that this film exists. You guys did such a great job of painting Liv as someone we all love. Gosh, she's incredibly lovable. Tess, you are also an artist, yes?
Yes.
What are you working on?
Well, primarily I'm working on the Live Project. I actually quit my full-time job. I was working at a theater education institution, and this has really become my mission. I spent so long being afraid of this topic, and we don't have time to be afraid anymore. So my role at the Live Project is the Chief Impact Officer, and I am helping with our private screenings and with this game, and we're also gathering a group of young ambassadors who have seen the film and been so inspired and asked how they can help. So I'm meeting with them often, and I'm discussing ways to turn this tide and really to listen to them. My passion is art and youth, and so to combine them for the purpose of helping people be fearless in talking about their mental health is really, really awesome. So that's what I'm up to.
Awesome. Honey, what about you?
I'm really enjoying attending screenings, our private screenings that we're doing, and talking to people and fielding questions about my experience as a mom, and my goal is to just everyone's been saying, I'm echoing that we have to have these fearless conversations. They're super important. And I'm also really excited about the Live project because I too am an artist, and partnering and collaborating with other artists just fills me with so much joy, because I think using creative tools really does also encourage people to talk about how they can utilize those tools to deal with their struggles. So that's where I'm at right now.
And Susan?
Oh, I'm just in Boulder doing my sessions here with my teens and young adults and families, and trying to, again, promote fearless conversations within families and people really being able to open up and talk about the struggles that they have, and be able to find safe people to share their vulnerabilities with, and continue to volunteer for the Live Project, which I really enjoy. It's a great light in my life to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And hang out with all these great people.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, Kelly, one thing I wanted to add about this film and this project, like people often ask us, it seems like Liv had everything and she still died. And, she has this incredible mom, this incredible sister. She had such a loving family. But I think what I didn't realize and what they taught me was that because Liv wanted to fit in and be like everyone else, she wasn't feeling safe to tell people what she really needed and what her real struggles are. And I think there's so many people like that. And the more we can just be willing to be fearless to ask somebody how they're doing, and then not be afraid to hear what they have to say. And then when they need help, to do something about that. I think that that's a really important thing that they've given us to share with people, is that you just don't really know, what somebody might be hiding. And the more we can let people talk without judgment and fear, the more we can be there for them and know how to support them when they need help. Too many young kids are dying right now, and we need to start listening. We need to start asking them and learning how we can be there for each other. As a parent, as a friend, as a colleague, I think that we could really make a difference. And one of the first things that Susan said to me and that the hospital said to me is people are missing right now a connectivity. And now we're especially missing that connectivity. And that's what we can all do better. And that's, I think, Liv's biggest gift for us to make a difference with.
Does anyone else have anything they want to say about the film, filmmaking, the process of working together? Honey, was it hard? Did you immediately want to and agree to and want to tell this story as a film?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I think it's vitally important that we're talking about it. And right from the beginning, we felt it was imperative that we're communicating to people. It's okay to talk about this. It's okay to say the word suicide. And we just want to continue to generate those conversations. And this film does it so beautifully, and it's just so authentic, and it just embraced my sweet daughters and brought their story forward, so that people can hear these things and feel comfortable to have those tough conversations. So there was never a question in my mind about making this.
Like, just when did you write the letter?
I wrote the letter because I was having a lot of trouble connecting with her. A lot of her friends were saying like, oh, I feel her everywhere. And, my mom said that she can talk like openly with her. And I'm like, I don't know where you are. I don't know. And I was feeling so disconnected. And then Paula and I talked and thought, maybe I should try to write a letter. And so I did, and actually writing to her has continued to be what has helped me connect with her. So I'm very grateful for that, because I have finally found something that allows me to have that communication.
Paula, thank you for submitting to the festival, and we're really, really Well, thank you, everybody, so much for this. We'll put the website for the Live Project and include ways that people can get involved and keep spreading this incredible message through the life of Liv. So thank you, Alan, for directing. Thank you, Paula, so much for producing, and Susan for lending your expertise. Tess and Honey for your story and your love of Liv and letting us all love her too.
Mhm.